And this is Chris Price, the author, and I'm sure he'd be the first to tell you that the book is not just about the Whalers. It's also about us, about the fans, and the relationship we've had. Because what is a team without its fans? And ironically, here we are 25 years after they left. We're fans without a team. But we don't forget. We love it. Bleeding Green is out already. Mr. Price, good to meet you, sir.
My pleasure. It's great to be here.
Now, you work for the Boston Globe.
Yes, I do.
But this was a passion project. Took you 6 years. Where did it come from, the idea?
Well, I was actually sitting around in the living room with my wife looking for my next big book project, and she said, why don't you write a book about the Whalers? And it took me about a half a second to say, this is a fantastic idea.
Right.
And so we were off to the races. It took 6 years. I interviewed almost 100 people, but in the end, I think we put together a pretty good book.
Yeah, I was able to thumb through it. I mean, you come for the nostalgia. You stay for stories about Michael Ute trashing locker rooms because of all his passion. But what I love is, you try to find that connection between us and between the team. How unique do you think that is? Because we were even talking about other sports fans who have seen their teams leave, and it's tough, and it is kind of a grieving process. And yet, there's still something about the Whalers, whether it's Brass Bonanza, whether it's one of the best logos in the history of professional sports. There's just something about it that sticks.
Howard Baldwin has a great line in this book about how the Whalers were the Green Bay Packers of hockey. Small market team, small town, but with a fan base that was totally and completely devoted. Maybe relatively to other teams, not as big, but the level of passion that was there was very, very unique. And now, look, a lot of fan bases can say, oh, we had this big. Of course, everyone loves their team and everyone loves their town, but the level of connection between the people who follow the team, the people who played here, and the community in general, really as a whole, I think really made it really different, really unique.
Yeah, even the Hartford Yard Goats are still very much a big part of this, too. They understand that Whalers history is Hartford history. Curious to see what else is in that book. I want to ask you maybe what's the most surprising thing you found out about? What's the most satisfying part of reporting on the book for you?
Really, the most satisfying thing is the passion is still there. That people still love it. There are these hockey hipsters out there who still embrace the logo, or embrace the song, or embrace the idea of bringing an NHL team back to Hartford. The level of energy that left when the Whalers left town has been replaced with UConn basketball. Now, obviously, look, the level of passion that was there in the late 80s, early 90s, this was before UConn became the all-consuming monolith that it is now with basketball. And so people forget that this was a team that people loved, that people followed. They didn't have a lot of people, and Donald Moyer, the Current, has a great line in the book where he says, look, they didn't leave their imprint on a lot of people, but the people they had, they really had. It was the same 12,000 people in the building, same 15,000 people in the building every night. They loved them. There was a level of intensity there that was so unique, that was so different, and I tried to capture some of that in the book.
Yeah, and good point you made. 85, 86, those heyday years were 5-6 years before UConn started winning the NIT, going to the NCAA tournament in the dream season. You mentioned the 12 to 15,000 people a night. I want to make sure my memory is correct. I remember when Pete Carmanos came in and was threatening to move the team, holding them hostage. I thought the community did a fairly good job of trying to buy up season tickets. But I don't remember if that's correct. How close did they come?
They did. There was a push. There was a really good push there at the very, very end. But I think a number of things conspired to end up seeing the team move to Carolina, whether it was Gary Bettman saying, look, we're going to move this team no matter what you think because we want to technically grow the game and we want to move it to a warm weather climate. Peter Carmanos looking for, a richer endeavor, more money. The state not being able to kind of make everything come together the way that the team and the NHL would like it. So there were a lot of factors that ended up with them moving, but I don't think it was the fan attendance. I really don't. They showed a level, again, go back to the level of passion. The 12 to 15,000 people that were there every night, they didn't get the same numbers as a lot of teams across the league. But at the same time, the fan base was there. They were behind the franchise. That
stickiness, that is still there to this day. Bleeding Green is the book. You can get it right now, out in time for the holidays. Something you are going to love, a 6-year passion project by Chris Price. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. It's been our pleasure. I love getting the chance to talk sports. Again, put my old sports reporter hat, Erica, You saw me. I was all excited. This is even my jersey I brought in. The old Ronnie franchise jersey that I pull out every St. Patrick's Day.
I know you love it.
I know. I know, and I miss him. It's been 25 years, and I still miss him.